Hello everybody. This is the second time I'm trying to record this. The first time, for some reason, the video camera just wasn't recording while I remember pressing the record button. I don't know what happened. Anyway, so this is the second time. And let's hope there isn't a third one. I'm gonna share two stories that happened, very short stories, spooky a bit, yeah. That happened to me when I was a kid, and then later on, several years later. Let's start with the first one. I was a kid, about 9 years old. It was late at night. I don't remember what time, but it was very late. In their house, in the apartment, it was me and my mother. My mother was asleep in her bedroom. The apartment moved out of there many years ago, was almost split into two parts, with a couple of rooms on the one side and a few rooms on the other side. Between them there is a long hallway, not too long, a few meters anyway. So I was in the living room, which was on one side of the apartment. My mother was on the other side of the apartment, in her bedroom, sleeping. And I finished watching some movie or TV or whatever, I don't remember what. No video games, because I didn't have my computer yet. And anyway, so I switched off the TV. It was in the living room, and just start walking outside the living room, turned off all the lights, and then turned on the light in the main entrance, which was next to the living room, and which gave enough light to be able to walk down the hallway. There were no other lights in the apartment at the time, just this one light by the entrance. And as I began walking down this hallway, this long hallway, something appeared. It moved. It came, or at least it appeared like it came from the bedroom of my mother, and it stopped right in front of me at the one end of the hallway, and at the same time it was the entrance to the kitchen. And anyway, and it just stood there. It was almost shapeless, and I say almost because you could see, like, now this is gonna sound funny. You know how kids or whoever, to pretend they're ghosts, they put like a bed sheet on top, a white one. Yeah, it was like that. Although you could definitely see it wasn't a person. And I say this because it was like this thing almost floating a few centimeters away, over the floor, and at the same time you could kind of see through it, and not at the same time. It was very strange. It was very difficult to explain, and it just stood there for, it was white from what I remember, or at least approaching white color. I don't know what color exactly it was, and it just stood there in front of me. Or it felt like it was watching me, but yeah, and it stood there for a few seconds, and I stood there on the other side of the hallway just looking at it. I didn't get scared or anything, but definitely found it interesting, and for a 9-year-old, not bad. So, but yeah, never mind. And then it started moving at walking speed towards the other side, not the side that it came from, but the other side, across. And it went towards my bedroom, my room. I waited there for a couple of seconds more, then decided to walk, and went through the hallway. I stopped there at the corner and looked through the other side. There's a smaller hallway going to my bedroom and bathroom, and I just stood there, nothing. I walked. There wasn't much light because, as I said, the only light still was the one in the by the main entrance. I went outside the bathroom, the door was open. I turned on the light. Nothing, no one inside. Now there was some more light, but yet I couldn't find anything else. I couldn't see anything else. And I went inside my room, turned on the light, nothing. Couldn't see anything. Anything out of the ordinary, I mean. And I just felt like behind me, something was looking at me behind me. And slowly turned, but there was nothing there. Definitely interesting experience. I went inside the room, my bedroom, and sat on my bed, just waited there for a few minutes or something. I don't remember how long exactly. I couldn't go to bed, I mean, yeah. But I did find it interesting. After a while, I just got up and searched the whole apartment again, but didn't see anything else out of the ordinary. And that was it. That quite memorable for me as a 9-year-old at the time. I'm not saying it was a ghost, but it was something, whatever it was. Now I'm going to talk about the second one, which is, strangely enough, more spooky for me. Although it happened many years later, when I was an adult, and I was walking on one of the main roads in the city center. It was 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so it was broad daylight, July I believe, and it was very, very, very hot, over 35 degrees Celsius or centigrade, not Fahrenheit, and it was very, very hot. And I remember I was waiting. I was at the bus stop and waiting for the bus, of course. And I looked at the other side of the road. The road had 6 lanes, 3 and 3, and both ways. And I remember I saw a man on the other side, on the pavement. He was, I don't remember about hat, but he was dressed in a black coat, very long coat, which was very, very, very thick. You know, one of those coats that there's no way a human being would wear this at this weather. She will die, well, I don't know die, but she will have health issues quite soon at this heat. And he was holding I don't remember if it was 1 or 2 suitcases. I don't remember the color of the suitcases. I think they were black, but perhaps not. And he was holding them like they were, like, you know, straight down, like very heavy. No movement while walking of the suitcases, I mean, or his hands, arms. And he started walking diagonally across the road. And at a course that would take him a few meters to my right. Anyway, so he crossed the first part of the road. He stopped in the middle. And a very small van, you know, one of the small ones, van, that crossed the road, speeding, and blocked my view of this guy for like half a second. It was really speedy. And the guy, while he was there, he just disappeared. Be careful, I'm not saying that after the van passed that the man was no longer there. That would be very strange on its own. No. The problem was with this, that after the van passed, the man was still there, and then just disappeared. No, without any noise or special effects, just disappeared, vanished. That happened perhaps 20 years ago, the late 90s. And that was, for me at least, very, very spooky. Yeah, I don't know what happened, what it was. Oh yeah, but the second, it wasn't just me who saw this. I was with someone else at the time, a cousin of mine, and he saw it too. So at least I know I'm not completely crazy. That's it. 2 stories, Halloween themed. Let's go with that. Stories that happened to me years ago. Thank you very much for watching.